Hello, this is Art Gains. In this video, I am beginning to experiment with the Nukla LoRa I made. The process I'm trying to get to work is that I make a basic sketch in Photoshop and then I pump it through the AI to tighten it up. Now, as you can see, as you will see as this video progresses, it needs a lot of work. I need to tweak a lot of settings in order to get this to function the way that I want it to. It's also rather slow, which makes me think I'm going to have to maybe set this up so that I can use two computers at the same time, one for rendering and the other for using Photoshop. I had to splice in the Nukla LoRa, as you can see here, into the Flux model and type in a prompt that described what I wanted, or that described what I had already drawn. The first time I ran the AI, I didn't shrink down the image to an appropriate size. I just wanted to see what would happen. I believe the canvas was something like 2,000 pixels high, which is about twice as tall as it's supposed to be. And then, so the second time I did it, I shrunk it down just to see if that would speed things up. And of course it did. The first few times I ran the queue, I had the denoise set at 0.63, which means that the output image was 63% different from the input image, I think. I did one experiment here where I set the denoise up very high to like 0.8 something, and the resultant image was sort of the same, as you'll see in a minute, but the character wasn't really in the same pose that I drew, and I wanted the character to be in the same pose. So I had to bump the denoise back down to 0.3 something, I think. I remembered that I had a longer prompt, a longer trigger word for this prompt, so I added that in. A comic book panel in the style, no, a comic book panel from the Silver Age of comics. Nukla is floating in the sky, something like that. I had to blow the image up there because I had shrunk it down to 1024 by 1024 in Photoshop. I had to blow it up in Photoshop. I'll figure out a way of upscaling at some point in the future, but for the moment I'm just trying to get the hang for how this works. So I did various different versions of this. I ran the queue several times trying to get it to give me the kind of results that I wanted, and ultimately, I wasn't really able to succeed today at getting the sort of results that I wanted. So I set the denoiser all the way up to 0.97, as you'll see in a moment, generating an image which was almost completely original, 90% different from what I input, and just so that I could have something more presentable to show here, because this image you're looking at here, it's kind of not quite up to the quality which I envisioned in my head. I'm sure I can get there, but like I said, this is the first time I've done this, so it'll only get better. I hope. It can only get better. I'm playing around with the idea of having Nukla's thought bubbles be kind of like lightning bolts, as you can see here. DC Comics does something, or used to do something like this, where they would have the thought bubbles of each individual superhero accompanied by that superhero's logo, so that you know who was thinking what. If they had Batman thinking something, there'd be a little bat symbol floating beside his thoughts, and if Superman was thinking something, there'd be a little S floating beside his thoughts. So this is the image that was 97% different from what I input, and I decided I would just fool around with this. If you look closely, you can see that the colors are very textured. This is not really what I want the AI to output for me, so I've been thinking about ways of getting rid of the colored textures and even the colors entirely, actually. I think I'm going to try to make a Silver Age rendering LoRa, so just black and white inks, and make a, a control net system, which will re-render the color artwork to be black and white, and then I can go back in and very easily add the color myself, and I won't have these textures, as you can see here. Now, I'll probably add textures myself after the fact, but I want more control than what the AI is currently producing. Anyway, if you want to help me out so that I can get better at this and help provide tutorials so that you can learn to do it yourself, you can consider getting my book, The Screaming Void. It's available on Amazon as a hardcover, softcover, and ebook. It's a good story. I think it's a lot better than almost anything you'll find in the bookstores today, at least the new stuff, because the publishing companies and the bookstores are kind of run by crazy people. Screaming Void is a good story, which you'll probably like if you like Alien, or The Chronicles of Riddick, or John Carpenter's The Thing. The covers will pop up in just a moment. Thanks for watching.